So this is some drill practice in section 3.2. And in 3.2, the main formulas that we're working with are the product rule and the quotient rule. And so before we get started on the actual details, let's just look at the rules themselves. The product rule says that if you have f times g and you want to take the derivative, notice that I'm not putting anything in between. It's just fg prime is equal to the derivative of the first times the second plus the function times the derivative of the second. So notice that you're taking the derivative of each one, right? But separately. Okay, so f prime g plus fg prime. Good. Quotient rule. Now I wrote this way. The book tends to write it a different way. I wrote it this way because of the quotient rule. And the quotient rule says that if I have f divided by g prime, right, then I'm going to take f prime g minus fg prime divided by g squared, right? Okay. So the main thing here is that notice that the order of these terms is the same, but I just changed the positive to a negative and then put it over g squared. Okay, and so again, that's the quotient rule. So before we actually do some, again, let's get out a piece of paper and write down these formulas 5 times each. Are you ready? Should we have a race? Okay, fg prime, let's go. Did I say go? f prime g plus fg prime. Fg prime is equal to f prime g plus fg prime. Fg prime is equal to f prime g plus fg prime. How many is that? Fg prime prime g plus fg prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we do this because we actually want to memorize this. Okay, and there's an old Russian saying that says "Повторение matuchenia." Has anybody taken any Russian? Повторение matuchenia means repetition is the mother of learning. And so if you just want to memorize something, it's good to just practice it, right? Just write it down. Let's do the same thing now with the quotient rule. Let's see how fast we can do it. You can pause if you want. Actually, there's a little song that goes with this. I don't happen to know it. I don't remember it by song. The song takes too long to say. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. You just about done? Are you beating me? Good. Okay. Now, take your hand and shake it out. Good. Now let's try some practice problems. So get your paper all ready for a new set of problems. And we'll go down the list, and I'll give you several seconds or so to do each one. And then after we get through the list, we'll go back and look at the derivatives of each. Are you ready? Here we go. So differentiate g of x equals minus 2 over x to the 4th plus 1/3 times the square root of x cubed. Okay, let's go to the next one. H of u is equal to u times u squared plus 1. All right, number 3, y equals x minus 1 over x plus 1. All right, f of z is equal to 1 minus e to the z times z plus e to the z. All right. Y equals 2x squared minus 1 divided by 3x plus 5. Okay, let's pause there. Let's solve these, and then we'll go on to some more. I want to solve these just because when we're doing these kind of fast drills, we're not really looking for any kind of simplification. I just want you to use the rule over and over again. So in number 1, we need to write g of x. We need to rewrite g of x first. That's minus 2x to the minus 4, right? Plus 1/3 times x to the 3/2. And so then g prime of x is equal to 2x to the minus 2, and then 3/2 times 1/3. The 3's cancel, so you're left with 1/2. X to the 3/2 minus 1 is 1/2. Is that too small? Okay, number 2, you could use the product rule, and this is kind of a product rule suggestion, but if this were an actual problem, I would probably just go ahead and multiply the un first. Okay, but because we're practicing the product rule, we'll go ahead and practice the product rule here too. H prime is f prime first, so that's 1 times u squared plus 1 plus u times the derivative of the second, which is 2u. And while we're just practicing, just go ahead and leave your answer in that form. Okay, so now y prime is equal to the derivative of the numerator first, so that's 1 times the denominator, x plus 1, minus the x minus 1 times the derivative of the denominator divided by denominator squared. So again, in these drills, we're just leaving those unsimplified. Okay, f prime of z is going to be, derivative of the first function is going to be, we could put 0 minus e to the z, right? And then we'll take our second function plus the first function times the derivative of the second. Oops, I'm running out of space. I'm trying to take the derivative of that. 1 plus e to the z. I'm running out of space there. That goes right in here, right? Okay, sorry about that. Next one. Did everybody get this one? Y prime is equal to derivative of the top times the bottom minus the top, derivative of the bottom divided by, oops, that was the bottom function squared. Good. And again, leave your answer unsimplified. Good. Now shake your hand out. Okay, are you ready for the next set? Let's go. So differentiate. Y equals 4x cubed plus pi squared plus 2x. And differentiate. Y equals x to the 4th plus 2x times x cubed plus 2x plus 1. Differentiate. H of w is equal to w squared minus w plus 1 divided by w squared plus 1. Number 9, differentiate. X squared minus x plus 1 times x squared plus 1. Okay, differentiate. F of t is 1 over 2t plus 2t. Differentiate. A over b plus c times e to the x. Differentiate. Y equals 3x squared plus 2x times x to the fourth minus 3x plus 1. Okay, let's run through the answers. First one. So we're starting up here. Y prime is equal to 12x squared plus 0, because that's a constant. Did everybody catch that? Plus 2. Good. Y prime is the derivative of the first function, 4x cubed plus 2 times the second, x cubed plus 2x plus 1, plus the first function, x to the fourth plus 2x, times the derivative of the second, which would be 3x squared plus 2 plus 0. Good, and again, you can leave your answers unsimplified while we're doing these drills. Oh, I'm going to run out of space. How about HW, or h prime of w? Derivative of the top times the bottom minus, oh, I'm running out of space again. Here, I'll use the paper underneath. Minus the top function times the derivative of the bottom, all divided by bottom function squared. Good. Product rule. Derivative of the first function, 2x minus 1, times the second function, plus the first function, times the derivative of the second. Good. Number 10. Oops. F prime of t. Now remember that the t can be written, this should be rewritten, right, as f of t equals 1/2 t to the minus 1 power, right, plus 2t to the 1 power. And so the derivative then would be minus 1/2 t to the minus 2 power plus 2. Very good. Now our last two. F of x, we're going to actually find another way of taking the derivative of this, but for now we'll just go ahead and do our quotient rule. So that's going to be derivative of the top is 0, so it doesn't matter what the other thing is, minus the top function times the derivative of the bottom function, which is ce to the x, right, divided by the bottom function squared. Good. And then finally, derivative of our last one. Derivative of the first is 6x plus 2 times the second, x to the fourth minus 3x plus 1, plus the first function by itself times the derivative of the second. Done, and I'm running way out of time. So that was 14 minutes. Good job, guys. I'll see you in the next drill set.